Welcome back to Nigeria Decides 2023 here on Arise News.
Now we're crossing live to the press conference on the 2023 Nigeria General Elections here in Lagos, Ikeja. Let's take a listen.
To bear their mind on the process that just took place on the 25th of February. And I'd like at this point to call for a quick video that would precede the conversation. And I'd like you to just watch, and after that video, Ambassador Chris Iyama would be giving us an overview of their thoughts on the February 25th general elections of into the presidential, the office of the president and National Assembly. Can we have the video, please?
On this note, let me seize this opportunity to respond to a story emanating from a section of the media that the Commission has decided to jettison the uploading of polling unit level results in real time on election day. It should please be disregarded as fake news. The Commission will upload polling unit level results, and citizens will have access to those results in real time as we upload to the polling units. This innovation was introduced by the Commission. The Commission cannot turn around and undermine itself. So this technology has come to stay. We'll upload polling unit level results from the polling unit. Citizens will have the right to view these results. After all, who are we serving? The citizens. How can we deprive citizens from access to the results of the process conducted by them at the level of polling units? So I welcome you to the Commission. I want to assure you and reassure you that the 2023 general election is going to be our best ever elections. We are committed, and that the votes cast by Nigerians will determine the outcome of elections. Nothing more, nothing.
Of Omole Estate Phase 1 have gathered around the bus asking INEC to upload the presidential result. The result from the presidential election. Residents of Omole Estate Phase 1 Lagos have gathered around the bus. INEC officers are refusing to upload the presidential election result. They must upload it, or else they will not leave this estate today.
Okay, guys, I discovered something very shocking. This is INEC result portal for this presidential. This is Ado Ekiti. I decided to visit this Ado Ekiti to come and see for myself. It will fear you what you will discover. So now we are in Ado Ekiti. You see, you come down to go down to what? Yes, do you see? Just go, you see, in front of Isa family house or whatever. Now, click it. See, click it. My people, this is the this is the
Well, Ambassador Chris Iyama would quickly address you and take us through their overview of the outcome of the 2023 presidential elections and the National Assembly elections. Ambassador Chris Iyama.
Fellow compatriots, members of the press, I want to thank you, members of the press, for coming here despite the short notice that we gave to you. I want to tag this press conference as democracy on trial and the truth must prevail. Delivered on this day, 2nd of March, 2023. Fellow citizens of this great country, Nigeria, it is with deep pains in our hearts that we are addressing this press conference on the 25th of February 2023. The good and peace-loving Nigerians, both young and old, came out en masse to carry out their civil responsibility by participating in the presidential and National Assembly election. The Citizen Observers Hub, which is a coalition of civil society organizations, mobilized over 2,700 citizen observers across Nigeria, including in FCT. We also deployed over 774 local government coordinators and also launched the Citizens Observers Hub in Jos, Nigeria on Friday, the 24th of February, 2023, which had over 30 data analysts observing, collating data from our field observers in the field across the country. There is no better organization and coalition to tell us what happened in the 2023 general elections other than the coalition of civil society organizations led by the Citizens Observers Hub. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Citizen Observers Hub, when we launched the Citizens Situation Room in Jos on the 24th of February, we brought in different key stakeholders to look at the necessary challenges that we might experience in the course of the election. Nobody told us that we're going to experience one or two challenges that will undermine democratic dividends in our country. We deployed our observers in over 2,700 polling units across the country. And our observers arrived at their different polling units as early as 6:44 a.m. in the morning, even before the arrivals of INEC officials. The 2023 general elections will remain in the minds of Nigerians as one of the worst elections in the history and ever conducted by the electoral body, the Independent National Electoral Commission, when it broke its own rules in the middle of the game, not minding the feelings of over 200 million citizens of this great country. It is a thing of concern to also have a report from the international observers that these elections fall short of international standard. The Citizen Observers Hub witnessed the arrival of INEC officials in southern Nigeria, late arrivals of materials in southern East Nigeria and southwest, a lot of misconduct and electoral irregularities. In some states in the south, we saw how sponsored thugs of state apparatus, how they were intimidating voters across their different states. We also saw how most of them brought in doctored results just to falsify the electoral process. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen of the media, these elections can never be said to be free, fair, and credible. And so, even when the INEC chairman, when he was being interviewed some days before the election, somebody reminded him about the fact that there is ongoing news that the electoral guidelines will not be complied with and that they will not be transmitting results into the from the polling units down to the local government coalition center, even up to the international conference center. He said, and I quote, that it is only but a fake news and that first results will be collated at the polling unit and downloaded. It's going to be uploaded on their different online portals from the polling units. Little wonder, we did not know that the INEC, in connivance with its corrupt officials, went further to go ahead to upload results that it's not even free, fair, credible, and cannot be said that it is the wishes of Nigerians. Despite the collation of results, party agent and civil society organizations raised concern and draw the attention of the INEC chairman to the Electoral Act, which in his words, he said that he's going to look into the issues before the final announcement of the results. But in his usual manner, which he did not keep to his words, he went ahead to announce the results and declare a winner without looking into the issues raised by polling unit agents. This also will remind us of the dark days of Professor Maurice Iwu, who when election is going on, before the election is concluded, results are being announced. We don't want anybody to undermine the good democracy that we're enjoying in this country. For the first time in the history of our country, a result was declared, a winner announced, and you need to see the mood of citizens of this country. We observed elections across different polling units in this country, and from the results so far transmitted from our observers, what was being collated in Abuja did not meet up to what our observers sent into our data center. So we ask, what then is the credibility of the 2023 general elections? And so, as a body which has more than 10 million Nigerians, and 10 million Nigerians are listening to us, 10 million young Nigerians are listening to us as we speak, we do not want anybody to undermine the peace that we're enjoying in this country, and that's the reason why we are addressing the media, so that the whole world will know what actually took place on the 25th of February 2023. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I want to really call on the international community not to buy into the idea that we conducted a free, fair, and credible election. Because from even what they have said, the election has fallen short of international best practices. How can you be conducting an election where more than half of your beavers deployed into the pools were not working? Most of the accreditation channels that they ought to observe weren't functioning, and then you are going ahead. In some polling units of this country, nobody observed the protocols as observed in the electoral guidelines signed into law by Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari. Lastly, in some part of the north, we saw videos, even some of our some of our polling unit observers witnessed how underage voters were thumbprinting in their different ballot boxes and using their different ballot papers. One cannot really say that this election went through the way of the citizens as expected, according to electoral guideline. And so one would have expected that hence that civil society organization, observers group, international community have said in their statements that the election falls short into the best international best practices. One would have thought that in some of those polling units that even election did not hold, one would have thought that election would have been organized in those areas. Some of those places where we saw videos flying right, left, and center about how some state governors were intimidating and harassing innocent citizens who came out to vote. One would have thought that those places, results would have been annulled and other fresh election. Why did the INEC chairman in the middle of the night change the rule of the game? Not observing the process. So these are the issues we are looking out to. And we are expecting that, of course, we are not saying that citizens should undermine the peace that we're enjoying in this country. We are asking of every good citizen of this country to remain calm while things are being sorted out. But to cut the long story short, this election of 25th February 2023 cannot be said that it is free, it is not fair, it is not credible, and it has fallen short of international best practices. And so, we're expecting that the different groups, different coalitions, will head to court and ensure that justice will be served. Let me say this before I round up, that this coalition is not in support of any political party. We are not for APGA, we are not for PDP, we are not for APC, and we cannot be for Labour Party. We are representing the interest of the well-meaning citizens of this country who INEC accredited to vote and who had their permanent voters card. Between last year and between 2 years ago and last year, and even in January, we went about around the street in the 774 local government of this country, conducting voters awareness campaign, reiterating the fact that vote will count. We told citizens to come out en masse. This election, young people came out en masse to cast their vote, and they were denied their fundamental human rights. And it's quite unfortunate. This is not the kind of democracy we envisage, and this is not the way to go. And so, we are asking the international community not to recognize the purported results and the announcement released by the Independent National Electoral Commission. We are calling for help because this is the time when nations ought to support Nigeria, to support its democratic process. You cannot bring up a leader in a country where you had over 93 million registered voters, and out of those 93 million registered voters, lot of those, more than 60% or 70% of those registered voters were disenfranchised. So you cannot say that the election is free, fair, and credible. Maybe I will come back and I will hand over to my colleagues. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Chris Iyama. We will now hear from Mr. Mike Nwambofo. Sorry, Ambassador Paul.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. All protocols observed. In accordance to the provision of the Electoral Acts, Section 60 and Section 64, subsection 4, these quoted portions of the Act states in parts that there will be transmission of results in real time directly from the polling units. And not too long ago, we just saw a video from the INEC chairman who stated vertically that he is going to ensure that every result is transmitted live from the polling units and for everyone to see it. We would recall that INEC and the chairman of INEC did not go in line with what he said in that video. The INEC chairman had just told us that this is what is going to happen, but we realize that it was a different display. INEC has failed to follow the electoral guidelines as stated in the Electoral Acts. We also know that in Section 47, subsection 3, it states that wherever the beavers fail and cannot be replaced, the elections in that polling units should be cancelled and a rerun scheduled. But we saw that the areas where beavers have failed and were not replaced, INEC still had results coming from those polling units, results that were not uploaded in real time directly to the INEC server. My question is this: where did they get the results from? Where did the officials get the results from? These are the questions only the INEC chairman can answer. The acts by INEC, who's supposed to be an independent body, has put a lot of Nigerians in wonder. Was there really an election where each electorate gets his or her counting votes? Or was it an allocation votes? It looks to me to be that the votes were allocated by INEC. What's the guarantee that the next week coming election, the gubernatorial and state House of Assembly elections, will be fair? Should over 90 million Nigerians put their trusts in this same body? What's the guarantee that the forthcoming election will be free and fair? These are questions that only the INEC officials can answer. And it's high time we Nigerians begin to ask these questions. We must also remember that the election, that the democracy we enjoy today came to us at a price. It is of all importance that we do not compromise the costs of maintaining and sustaining this democracy that we have. The country has suffered a lot from several political sections. This is the most attended election in the past decade in Nigeria, where almost every citizen wants to be a part of it. We call on every good citizen of Nigeria to lend a voice to this madness, lend a voice to this inappropriate conduct of the electoral body. And we call on the INEC chairman to please redress these views before the next election. Because if we cannot get it right from the presidential election, we are not sure that the gubernatorial and the state House of Assembly elections will be right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Paul. Questions, questions, questions. And these questions are begging for answers, and they are coming from our young people. They are coming from those who have observed the elections And I think those who have the responsibility to provide answers to these questions are ticking the boxes, and they would be providing these answers and ensuring that the right things are done. We would like to also hear from Mike Obina.
Thank you very much. Good day, members of the press. Good day, Nigerians. And I thank you all for tuning in. I will tell you that my future has been stolen. I'm just going to be very straight. I'm not a man of too much English. This is an election that made Nigerians believe that we don't have a future, especially the young ones. I'm 30-something, and if this election is allowed to go this way, in the next 8 years, I will be close to 40. And I will tell you that I, personally, and my group, I am the president of Youth in Politics. We cannot accept this result. I was there when a young lady was stabbed. Stabbed on the face just because she came to vote for her candidate. I was there also. I saw it live when thugs and policemen in uniform, I am not saying citizens, policemen in uniform, snatched ballot boxes. Snatched. They left with ballot boxes. Is this the election we are going to allow in Nigeria? Today, I put it to you that this election cannot be accepted. I am not being too inquisitive about this. I am being very diplomatic, and at the same time, I am begging Nigerians, if you accept this election, it's going to be another 8 years. We are not supporting any political party. No, all we need is, we need credible election. We need INEC to sit up. If possible, INEC chairman should step down, because my children, life depends on this. If we don't get it right, we have failed as Nigeria. We have failed the world. Go and check your friends, check your sisters and brothers. They are all leaving this country and they are tired. I, Michael Nwabufo, will not accept the 2023 election conducted by INEC. That was vote allocation, not election. I will put it to you that I will stand and defend myself anywhere. I was trained well. I know where I came from. 2006, I was a street boy. Nowhere, I was lost. And then I found myself, I struggled with the help of the organization that helped me. Today, I am who I am, and I'm still suffering the same bad leadership I experienced when I was young. And you are telling me to accept this election. I alone, I represent over 6 million Nigerians. I am telling you, we are many. INEC, please, we beg you, do the necessary things and make sure that this election, we have another election and we come out in numbers and vote. We want a rerun of this election. I'm not joking. Look at me very well. I'm not joking. And if you are impressed person, make sure you air this. And if you don't air it, that means you are sponsored. We want a rerun. We shouldn't be going to another election. What are we going to vote in governorship? Who are we voting for? If we cannot ascertain the election, the presidential election, if we cannot trust the credibility of the 2023 presidential election, how can we trust the governorship election? We can't trust INEC again. I'm so sorry I'm being so emotional about this. But this is what I am charging the whole Nigerians, the youth, mother, father, children. Don't accept this, because it's going to be another 8 years of evil.
Thank you very much.
And we are calling on international press and other organizations, come to our rescue. If you try and put a blind eye on it, God will judge you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think at this time, thank you. Again, questions from our young people, passionate citizens begging for answers. At this point, I think the members of the press would like to ask questions as well, so we must give them the opportunity to ask their own questions. So if you have a question for the panelists, would like to pass the mic to you. Step out and then ask your question. I'm sure. Just indicate, and then you can let us know your media, and then go ahead and ask your questions. Please keep it short and straight to the point. Please step out so
Thank you for this opportunity. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, members of the press. My name is Ibokwe McDonald. I'm Director of Administration and Youth in Politics. I have a few questions for one. Okay, let me choose the most important. Okay, now we've seen what has happened. Variously have been described as a charade. Some call it allocation, some call it coronation, but we're given option to go for go to the court to seek redress. I'm asking the panelists, what opportunities are available for us to get this, how do I put it, this display of drama upturned in the law court, knowing the antecedents of a Nigerian judiciary? Thank you very much.
so clearly he's asking.
Sorry, please can you repeat that clearly? You say what allocations are available? I didn't hear you properly, please. Sorry.
Okay, my question is, what opportunities are available? What are the possibilities of getting this election upturned through the law courts? That's the question.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are not the justices we are not the justices of all the courts in this country, and we're expecting that the candidates of the elections put up a very strong case before the judges, and especially when the cases come up before the election tribunal. And so, for these reasons, we may not necessarily give unnecessary answer to that. It is left for the candidates who felt aggrieved to approach the courts, and if need be, if the court feels they have a strong case against the 2023 general elections, so be it. Let justice be done. That's it.
We would also, as observers, provide evidence to the aggrieved parties who would want to take the case up to courts, because as observers we have tons of evidence like the ones we just played on the screen. And before we leave here, we also have videos of violence and voters intimidation, which we are going to be playing on the screen as well. So the parties that are aggrieved that would like to go to court should do it fast, and if they reach out to us, we will provide real-time evidence, because with what we know as at now, if you check the INEC portal, if you followed and you check the INEC portal on the day of election, you will realize that the votes the results were not uploaded, but right now check the same ward and the same polling units, you will see results uploaded there. You see? So INEC is covering their tracks. And I want to challenge the chairman of INEC. I have proof that votes results were not uploaded in real time. We have the videos. So we are checking today on the same polling units and results are uploaded. So you are covering your tracks, Mr. Chairman. And we are not going to take that. So if any aggrieved party wants proof of what we are saying, we can be contacted. But we are not the ones to take INEC to court. We are observers. Thank you so much. Any other question? There's a question here, please.
Thank you very much. Standing on the existing protocols. My name is Mayor John Echefu. The atmosphere in Nigeria currently has been heated up by this fraud committed against Nigerians by the INEC chairman. As observers, the INEC chairman told us that the PVAS machine will work. And that is the reason the whole Nigerians, even some who have never voted in their life before, they came out en masse to vote. But getting to the polling unit, we'll find out that that is a fraud. Please, as observers, have you written your report to international communities concerning that fraud meted against innocent Nigerians and citizens of this country? Thank you very much.
We have our reports being put in place, and our report will be ready just immediately after the governorship election. Because like I said earlier, we deployed over 2,700 observers across the polling units of this country. We also deployed 774 local government coordinators who observed the process from the local government level. And we had over 30 data analysts at our Citizens Observers Hub and Data Center in Jos, Nigeria, where even some of the international communities visited to see our data center, and as well as the domestic observers, political parties, and of course the electoral body themselves. So at the end of the day, we are putting forward our reports, and I can tell you for free that our reports will be made public immediately after the governorship election. We're in the process of compiling those reports, and it will be made available when the time comes. Thank you.
Let me also add to that. The entire coalition has vast of information to share to any political party that is aggrieved. We are open to discussions. We are not affiliated to a particular political party. So we want justice for the voters. We want every electorate to be counted for. We want democracy to be upheld in this country. So yes, like my colleague has said, the reports will be made available, and evidence. I am very, very concerned about the evidence, because INEC chairman is covering his tracks right now. Right now. If you click on the INEC portal today, the same local government and ward you checked on the 25th, there is no results. Today, there's results. Where did it come from? So we want everybody to work together to restore the democracy we have in this country. Thank you. Do we have any other question? Okay.
Please,
Is that
there's
all
somebody
we can take?
There's somebody that spoke about the law going to court. Please, where are you, please? Mr. Mark, is that you? You were Mark? He said something about going to court. Please, we want to use this opportunity to plead with the Chief Justice of the Federation. If we head to court, please be fair. Because recently I realized that the Chief Justice of the Federation interfered in politics. I have never seen it happen anywhere. The Chief Justice of the Federation said, and I quote, that he is happy that his governor is among whatever party he is not supposed to be so.
You've been watching the press conference by Citizens Observers Hub on the 2023 Nigeria General Elections holding in Ikeja, Lagos. And that's all from all of us here. Rotusodiri Vimbai, Muntihiri Ekpenyong, and Cynthia Are will be here next to take you through the next session of Nigeria Decides.
The game changer was the INEC, was the use and introduction of the beavers. The beavers in this election was supposed to be the game changer. And one of the procedures, the guidelines that INEC gave us, that was the most important among all the several guidelines, was the uploading of the reports, the polling unit results in real time to the IREV website. And that was not done. So what we observed was allocation of results at the collation center. And the question now is, why was the rush? INEC violated its own guidelines they gave to Nigeria. So why the rush? When you have violated your own guidelines, you told us results will be uploaded to the website in real time. That was not done. Why the rush? This is what happened. INEC tells us we are breaking the law, we want to keep breaking the law, and we will go ahead and announce the winner after we have broken the law, and whatever party who is not satisfied should go to the court. We understand the tricks. Take the poison, keep taking the poison, and then thereafter go to the hospital. And we know the road, what the trick is. They are telling us to go to the court. We don't have faith in the court. It is still in this same country, somebody came fourth in the governorship election. We took the case to the court, and the mandate was given, it was stolen. It is still in this same country, a man who didn't run from primary election was given the mandate. So we don't have confidence in the court, and that is the tricks. That is where they played us. They tricked us, allocated the result, and now they are pushing us to the court. It is not fair. So I want the international community to be aware that the 25th February election, the presidential election in Nigeria, was far from being fair, credible, and transparent. And we are saying this cannot stand. It is unacceptable. This is a slap to the Nigerian citizen. This is a slap to the Nigerian youth.
Thank you very much.
This was not...
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, distinguished members of the media. I think the issues are clear. Okay, one more question. Please let it be a question, because we
also like to have the last video, the violence video, as we close.
You have a video,
yes.
Okay. Please keep it short. Let it be a question indeed, not a lecture.
Just a question.
Please, can you come forward to this? Come forward, please.
You don't have to stay on
Okay, you don't want to be on the screen. Okay, it's fine.
Yeah, as an observer, I just noticed in your speech and in other contributions, you said you're not supporting any political party, that you want justice for Nigeria. Then my question is, what options are you open to? If you say the election was maybe an addition of numbers, are you willing to go to court? Or are you willing to support those that will go to court? Then the last man who made a contribution here said he does not, that you do not believe in the courts. Now, as Democrats, if you say it was rigged in quotes, and as Democrats, the other option open to you is to go to seek justice in court, and on one breath again, you're telling the international community and the media that you don't believe in the courts. Don't you see it as very contradictory? So exactly my question is, what do you want after this election?
Thank you for that. Let me quickly say this, that we still have faith and hope and we believe in the judiciary. And for that reason, because of the kind of data we're going to be publishing after the governorship election, it is open to Nigerian citizens. They can go to the website, they can download it. Whosoever wants to use it to approach the court is good and fine. But let me say this again. We believe we believe in the judicial process of this country, and we want the law to take its full course. We do not, what we're only saying is that we don't want the interference, unnecessary interference of anybody that would create suspicion in the process. We are quite aware that if we are witnessing the kind of unrest happening in this country, it's as a result of the kind of judicial pronouncement of recent. So we're using this opportunity to call on the judiciary to stand firm, especially when the cases of this election will be brought before them. That's just what we are saying. We believe in the court process, and we want aggrieved citizens of this country not to take laws into their hand, but to approach the court. And when it comes to that process, our data are available online and it can be accessed. Thank you.
On this note, we will take the final video. I'm told there's another video. So please, let's have that video play out. And we do hope in the coming hours and days, answers can be provided to the questions that our young people are asking all across the country, whom this group, the Citizens Observers Hub, represent, a coalition of civil society organizations. Distinguished members of the media, thank you very much for your participation in this World Media Conference. God bless you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you. In case you still want to take private questions with them, they are available and you can take them up on more issues. I think the conversation continues